It's been 9 months since the WHO warned of a cell phone and mobile tower radiation leading to increased risks of cancer. So what has the government done to protect you and raise awareness on the potential risks and do's and don'ts? Let's get you the details. The World Health Organization's report on cell phone radiation published in June last year says radiation, mobile phones and towers pose a 40% increased risk of brain tumors. It terms cell phones as dangerous as lead and chloroform, saying 30 minutes of usage over 10 years could have dangerous effects. It also calls for more studies on the issue. The issue of radiation itself that we are exploring covers two major areas. The first, radiation from mobile phone towers that have cropped up all over cities over the last decade, posing a huge health risk. The second is radiation from cell phones that you and me are exposed to on a day-to-day basis out of regular usage, in which there is seemingly no getting away from.
Phones are harmful for health, and this is no secret anymore, especially with the World Health Organization coming and saying that radiation from mobile phones are harmful for health. But what is India doing in this regard? An interministerial panel has been set up by the government to examine this matter, which has said that according to the specific guidelines, 1.66 watt per kg accordingly for a 6-minute period is the ideal radiation that has to be emitted from a cell phone. These instructions have to come here in every cell phone box. There has to be a manual which has to talk about the kind of radiation the cell phone is emitting and also about the harmful effects of radiation, the do's and don'ts. This has to come in a manual, but like I said, these are just guidelines and not legally binding provisions for which an amendment has to be made in the Indian Telegraph Act of 1885. But what about the awareness levels? Are salesmen aware of the fact that mobile phones emit radiation which is harmful? आप ये बताइए कि आपको इस बारे में क्या जानकारी है रेडिएशन के बारे में कि किस तरह से ये सेहत के लिए खराब होता है, इस सेल फोन से जो रेडिएशन निकलता है उसके बारे में? मैम बेसिकली मैं बताता हूँ, रेडिएशन के बारे में हमने न्यूज में सुना था कि फोन के अंदर में जो रेज निकलती है बेसिकली हार्ट पे इफेक्ट करती हैं. अगर हम अपना फोन अगर पॉकेट में रखते हैं, फोन को बेसिकली अगर पिलो के नीचे हम रखते हैं तो मोस्टली क्या होता है कि हार्ट पे पड़ता है, ब्रेन पे भी. कोई कस्टमर आपसे इसके बारे में पूछता है? अभी तक रिसेंटली किसी कस्टमर में इतना अवेयर नहीं है, कोई कस्टमर नहीं जानता कि वाकई में रेज क्या होती है, वाकई में क्या इफेक्ट करती है हमारे बॉडी पे. कस्टमर आता है सीधा फोन लेने के लिए. So little bit of awareness about what really should be done, perhaps sketchy details about do's and don'ts, but as far as the guidelines of the interministerial panel are concerned, the salesman here from a prominent cell phone company is unaware about the fact that these guidelines have to be there, these instructions specifically have to be there displayed in the manuals in these cell phone boxes. Like I said, these are not legally binding provisions. This perhaps explains why these instructions are not there in this box yet, but the fact remains that radiation emitted from cell phones are not good for health. The increase in use of cell phones and the mushrooming mobile phone towers has taken over Bangalore too. I'm standing in a residential area in the heart of the city, and behind me is a mobile phone tower that's standing on top of a 2-story residential building, a violation of the guidelines issued by the Department of Telecommunications. Now, DOT guidelines say that wherever possible, a mobile tower should not be erected in a residential area or at least should be 100 meters away from a residential building. Clearly, this is a blatant violation as it is right on top of the residential building. Just take a closer look at the tower and just see how haphazard the installation seems to be, the possible danger it is causing to the residents of the building. There's no proper fencing or wiring to really caution people. This just one tower poses a threat to those who live right below it, also to residents who live nearby. Incidentally, in this case, there's also an educational institution adjacent to the building, a school in fact, another violation of the DOT's guidelines that say mobile towers should not be installed near educational institutions and must maintain a distance of at least 100 meters. So the children here are also paying a price for the advent of modern technology because the penetration of electromagnetic radiation is said to be greater in the case of children. For a city that was once breathing fresh, clean air, it's now being forced to silently breathe toxic air. With video journalist Harish, Vaishnavi Vittal, News X, Bangalore.
Joining us now is our correspondent Sneha Mordani from Safdarjung Hospital in Delhi, and Shrisha is joining us from Chennai right now. Let's go across to Sneha Mordani first. Sneha, this is a story that touches each and every citizen, not only of India, but every global citizen as well. We're all using lots of cell phones around us, and many of us for hours together in any day. In extreme layman terms, can you please explain to all of us what really can cause cancer and how can we avoid it?
Well, Akash, radiation emitted from cell phones and radiation emitted from cell phone towers is extremely harmful for health for people living in close proximity. That, like our reports were pointing out, this certainly is harmful to health. The WHO report on the same, we mentioned that as well, clearly points out that there has to be specific guidelines that these cell phone towers have to be set up, and the people have to be made aware of the specific harmful effects emitted from cell phones, and the do's and don'ts, which we are going to talk about in just a bit, is also very, very important for the consumer to know as to what really he's doing when he is using a cell phone. And as to people living in residential areas who are living next to mobile phones, phone towers erected next to them, let me quickly tell you where I am right now. I'm actually in Delhi Blue Apartments in New Delhi, next to Safdarjung Hospital. If I could ask my camera person to pan a little and try and show you, apologize for the trees here because we do not see it very clearly, but there are 3 cell phone towers that are erected atop Delhi Blue Apartments. It's a prominent locality here. This is just a few meters away from both Safdarjung Hospital and All India Institute of Medical Sciences.
Is this a violation? Is this a violation? Can this cause cancer to the people who are there?
The Sanvedana. It is a clear violation, Akash. It is a clear violation, Akash. Let me quickly mention to you that a cancer institute is over here right now, and my camera person is showing the institute of the same. This is extremely harmful. This is against the rule. This area has radiation level 7 times more than what is permitted. It is very, very dangerous, Akash. This is the most susceptible area in New Delhi.
Right, just stay with us, Sneha. That's a serious warning indeed, and it comes from no less than WHO, the World Health Organization. It came 9 months ago, and as NewsX is showing you right now, all of us, most of us in fact, are living in the shadow of this kind of radiation which can cause cancer. We'll go to Shrisha in Chennai also, but let's first listen to some voices on whether people are really aware of this danger or not. From Ahmedabad first.
I know that it affects different like lungs, and these radiations can cause cancer at times also.
Not much, I guess, just like a bit key. It's very harmful for our health, and that's it. We should not be using cell phones with much radiation.
I'm not aware of that. Everybody say that in the cell phone the radiation is coming out, but we are not aware of this.
Yes, we come to know reading the newses and all, watching TVs, hearing on the news channels.
Yes, I know it causes harm to our every body part.
No, I really don't know about that, about the radiations.
No, I don't know anything. The sailor do not inform us about it.
Not particularly about the cell phone, but yes, about the cell phone towers I know about it.
Please,
The Nikorawalas register their protest against mobile towers around their homes.
Don't take me. You're a trespassor. Give me your ID card. On what basis? You have ID card?
You go down.
No. You can't go, please. Why? You go down. You didn't take any permit.
It's become an everyday battle with the telecom company manager who guards them.
Don't take, because you will be in trouble. I'm telling you personally.
He's unmindful of the health threats they pose. Only the money of it matters.
This is a conflict not required. It's a common area mentioned in the bylaws. We just came up to show you what are the health hazards, and see the defensive, argument that he was taking. It was a baseless argument. He's asking you for an I card, where himself he is not carrying an I card. Even in spite of saying that you are a guest, we are, showing you what these things are. What is the trespassing?
Their plight also stems from the fact that a majority of flats are occupied by ADAG employees, and none of them dare raise a voice. Entire terraces are filled with the towers, safety measures thrown to the winds. Opposite, and you face harassment unending. To prove their point, the Nikorawalas have even purchased radiation measurement equipment from their own pockets. If green depicts a safe area, red speaks of dangers unlimited.
This is beeping, if you're hearing, it's beeping so that we are living in a radiation house and it is dangerous for all of us.
Their battle to pull down the harmful structures is now into its third year. Forward movement is little. Only the health fallout grows worse and worse. With Vrishali Kadam in Mumbai, Bureau Report, NewsX.
Now, actress Juhi Chawla actually led a campaign demanding removal of mobile phone towers from Malabar Hill area of Mumbai, and she was heard. 13 towers atop the Sahyadri guest house were removed. In contrast, middle-class family, the Nikorawalas, have been petitioning for removal of the Nepirol tower cluster, as you just saw in the package earlier, but they're still struggling on, with no action taken against their appeal.